We back, y'all. The Dark Skin Splash Bros. I'm Jada, aka Mr. Talk Spicy, and I got my bro with me once again. We back at it on episode 5 of the House of Hoops podcast, built by the game. And why not make it so legendary? What park we at this week, Dave?
Oh man, Rucker Park, man. Built by the game, man. They just so legendary. This is the legendary day for us. I mean, that's just gonna be the theme today. A legendary vibe. You know, Rucker Park, man. I know they dealt with so many celebrities, man. From KD's 66 points, from Kobe lacing up before it rained in the Air Force Ones. Shaq Diesel was in there. Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson, like shit, who wasn't in there? You know, the local pros was in there, man. Just that park is just legendary all over. You know, once you get off that 155th exit, you start feeling like, yeah, this is just gonna be a legendary day. As soon as you get off the exit, you gotta get built up for Rucker, man. Like you just can't wake up like, all right, today I'm gonna just show up. Nah, Rucker, you gotta be like great that day because the list of greats that came through there for the ones that host the events, the ones just like the ball players, man, like just so much grace the court before us. So as we get on the court, we have to bring that same type of energy and that same type of vibe because, you know, we all competitors, like we always say on every episode, we all competitors, but you know, we can never deny those legends that came out of the park, man. Just to have those type of killers in the park, man. Like you ain't getting Kobe in the park. Know what I mean? Lacing up. Look like he just got off the flight, lacing up in some uptowns, man. Like
I feel like that park set the tone for New York City, and I think that's why it's only right we end New York versus New York, the championship in that park. Let the kids leave a moment, leave an impact on the best tournament that they brought to the city. And it's only right we do it at a legendary area where legendary moments happen. And I think in New York, if you ain't never touched the grounds, you ain't never touched the rim, you ain't never touched the backboard, you can't consider yourself a basketball player if you never touched foot in Rucker Park because that's where it started. That's like our Madison Square Garden. And that's like where we grew up. If you go anywhere around the world, you talk about New York City, they gonna say, I gotta go visit Rucker Park. So it's like, today's that type of day. It's a legendary day, like you said. It's an exciting day for us. I feel like I'm about to watch KD drop 66, like you said. And I feel like the Mamba, David Stern, it's like everything is so legendary about that park. And it's like if you do an event, why not do it at Rucker Park? And like if you have a championship, why not do it at Rucker Park? And if you're going to end New York versus New York, it has to be at Rucker Park.
just the whole thing about 8th Avenue. Like, once you start getting close to 155th Street, man, you just start feeling the chills, man. Like, what Greg did over there, man, rest in peace, man. He just, it's legendary because of him. And it's also legendary for the people he put around him to keep that thing going for over 30 years, man. It's hard to build a brand where it's over 30 years and running. Like, so many pros came through there, man. Like, we could flip books for days for the pros that came there, all the local players that came there, all the street ball guys. And some of the street ball guys made it big off of Rucker Park. Some of the announcers made it mainstream off of Rucker Park. You know, I think Rucker Park, that's why it's so legendary. It's just an outlet for everybody. You just come in there locked in with any vision you want to do. Like, I seen some of the security guards now. They doing security for like some of these NBA guys just off of Rucker Park.
You talk about the players, but the announcers that came through there. Duke Tango, Booby Smooth, Hannibal, the most electrifying one, EJ. So I feel like he been around them and then he's seen us and he's seen something in us, because before it was the Dogs and Splash Bro, we were just I was just trying to play basketball, think I had a dream to make it. But he saw something in me and he said, yo, I got you. I'm going to take you to that next platform and I'll make sure I leave an impact. And I think he made sure we left an impact on the game of basketball, because there's an event in New York City and they got to call the Dogs and Splash Bros. And he one of the main reasons why and then Kev Santana just put everything together. It was his vision, and Kev Santana said, "Let's go make this happen." And they brought us two together, and we legendary. So I feel like today is a perfect day because we get to go with the person that say, "Yo, y'all working off an iPhone." One got the phone and one got the bike, and we just go have fun. And he let us rock out, and he just saw something in us, and he made us legendary. So today's a legendary day for us. Head coach of the Dream Team, founder of the Dark Skin Splash Bros, commissioner of Tri-State, GM of Tri-State, co-commissioner of EBC Rucker Park. Mousy is here. How you been?
Great. Just trying to adapt quarantine, being in the house. So used to going to the park for like 35 years, either going to Rucker Park or going to Tri-State. So it's like just trying to get used to this summer, not having no basketball, no New York versus New York.
It's tough. Like, we all dealing with the same thing, because this would have been year 3, so I believe this summer would have been like the breakout summer. So I'm guess we just all building up to have the next year the breakout summer. But I see you stepped on the podcast. It's a legendary vibe today. Your background is like, that's the office or something. Like I see some of the goats behind there. Tell me what's up with the background right there.
Nah, this is the crib. That those two pictures ain't nothing. Like, if I show you the picture that you can't really see, with Joe Hammond, with Elton Brand, Puff Daddy, it's just so many NBA players that's in this other picture that you can't see that I have behind me. Like, it's just so many out from my 35-year history from Rucker and Tri-State. It's just too much. You know what I mean? There's so many stories I have that we'll probably be here all day.
Tell us about one of your legendary moments in Rucker Park, because we know, like, you ran Rucker Park. So if it's no Rucker Park, and you can't talk about Rucker Park and not talk about Mousy, so tell us one of your legendary nights.
One of my nights was really like one time we won a championship. We was like on this TV show, like late night TV show. Our Fat Joe had got us on. It was like Jimmy Kimmel. Never heard of the man. You know what I mean? So Joe was like, "Hey, we need to be downtown, go to this show." And then I got all my friends calling me from overseas and was like, "Yo, you was on a TV show with Jimmy Kimmel." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know who that was." You know what I mean? We was just doing normal things. And then I have another crazy story. So we won a championship at Rucker. That was a blackout game. So Source Awards invited us to the awards to present an awards. So they got me reading the card that you have to read, but I didn't read it when they first gave it to me. So I'm staring at it. I'm on stage now, looking like a nerve. You could Google it. You could see the video. So I'm on stage looking at the thing like this. Nah, they don't want me to say that. I just stood there crazy. Fat Joe tapping me like, "Yo, you getting stage fright on me?" I was like, "Nah, Joe, I'm not saying that." So, they wanted me to say something against Jay-Z. So I was like, "Nah, I can't say that." Because you never know when I might have to run into Jay-Z and need him to do me a favor. Like on this thing that I'm working for now for Rucker Park next year.
If you could build me a Mousy Dream Team starting 5, give me one local player and give me the other 4. They could be the superstars or the NBA players.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the local player. I'm gonna just start with Kareem Reed at the point. Then I'm gonna switch it over to Stephon Marbury or Rayford Austin at the 2 and the 3, so we could keep it like that. Then I'll go with Jermaine O'Neal, Elton Brand. You want more? Ron Artest, Eric Barkley, Terry DeHare, Roderick Rose. The list is just so much. I could have just wrote a list and it'd have been at least like maybe about 40 players that played with me out of high school before they even made the NBA. So, you know what I mean? And that was like so before I had the little young team called Mousy's Dream Team. So future NBA players. So we couldn't win because we was young at the Rucker. So, the Rucker was more you know how it went. If you ain't have it for the players, you wasn't kind of winning. So, you know, me and my little young team, you know, players used to beat us up, be like, yo, like one story, you know, Big Strick is killing Elton Brand. He's killing him. He's like, yo, Mouse, get this little kid off of me. I said, what you need to do is ask that little kid for this autograph before the game is over, because that little kid is going to be a #1 draft pick in the NBA. And you know he was the #1 draft pick, so now GM of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Like New York versus New York, and you talking about your young team, and it show how passionate you are coaching. What makes you so passionate about New York versus New York? And like you said, you was coming to win it this year, so.
So this year I was like really getting more hands-on, recruiting players. Before I wasn't recruiting players or nothing. So I'm out at games recruiting players the way I used to recruit when I used to coach, you know, Bad Boys and Terror Squad. So I'm out there recruiting and stuff like that, you know, trying to get, because, you know, like I said, I wanted to win New York this year. So it was kind of one of my goals that I really haven't won nothing in a minute, because it's like I really wasn't putting my effort into it. So I was like, you know what? So then I'm at the game, I'm getting kind of frustrated because my team is looking bad. So, you know me, I'm just trying to coach me. It's hard. You know, I'm at any game and you can see me just standing next to the coach, and I'm gonna just start helping them just because I'm there.
And we get a New York versus New York team, we gonna have to win it. So look, we putting our entry in right now. We gonna name our tournament, and New York versus New York gonna have 7 teams next year, because we gotta be one of the teams if we start our tournament.
What was your process like in your early years at Rucker? What were some of your early experiences? I know you say you had to get the young players, but so what happened after you started getting the elite players?
History. Everything just changed after that. Like nothing went down without Mousy name on it. You know what I mean? The celebrities got the name. You know, we won, Fat Joe and them get the credit, blah, blah, blah. We lose, it's Mousy team lost. So the same way with Puff. We won, Bad Boy won the championship, we lost, Mousy lost. But at the end of the day, nothing could be done without me. So some of the commissioners that are cool with me, they could tell you how I try to make it better for us, what we should do to make it better for us being out there. Like
your experiences at Rucker Park itself made you, you know, into that beast, that legend that you are. Now that you starting to push that towards Tri-State and New York versus New York, where you see that building for you in the next 1 or 2 years?
It's giving us a whole summer to really get. It's almost like a 2 years to make it even better for next year. You know what I mean? Like the same way I'm trying to bring Rucker back the way it used to be.
Like that's all I think you're missing. Like you won a lot of championships in Rucker, but I think if you host that trophy, New York versus New York trophy, in Rucker Park, you win it there, I think it just stamps everything, and that will make New York versus New York so legendary. Because it's like you went back home, you started your own brand, and to come back to where you started and win a championship on that court, I think that day right there will go down in street ball history. Like, you did everything already. It's like nothing left for you to do. Like, won unlimited in Rucker. You went to the high school ranks, and then you just come there and you win a New York versus New York champ. I think that day will be special for you. So I just want to make sure me and Dave is there for that day.
When I first got to Rucker, you know what I mean? Like, remember I told you I got one goal for the whole summer. Remember I told y'all that, right? I said my goal was to get the championship at Rucker. I'm waiting to help somebody out the same way Greg helped me out. You know what I mean? So every time I won, you saw them on a TV screen. Every year I won, I was on somebody's TV screen. So that's what I want to do for my teams. I want to make sure that every time a team win at the Rucker, you somewhere where everybody see you. You know what I mean? It was before I couldn't even get on the airplane. People used to be like, hey, when is the next Rucker game? When is, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I was a street celebrity just from being at Rucker Park. The people that are there, if they build it and they do right, then they get somewhere. You know what I mean?
How you feel about just being a part of the whole New York versus New York process? I know we out, you know, we still building, but how you just feel about the whole process going forward?
I love it. I just haven't won yet, and once I win it, I'm gonna just keep winning it after that. a lot of these AU teams, they jumping into different tournaments and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day if you look at Tri-State history, we really didn't have bad teams. I got more McDonald All-Americans in any other tournament. I got more NBA players in any other tournaments, but they got the chip.
Do you think that night that Kevin Durant had 66 is anything compared to what y'all used to do back in the day? Like,
every night I game I had at the Rucker, like you go there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the line was already around the corner. Anytime Terror Squad and Bad Boy played, it was just like, they didn't know who we was bringing. Every game we had NBA players. I had the street players, and then, then we went and got, some of the best NBA players to come to play with us to make the tournament to where it was at.
street ball helped build a legacy for a lot of us. So it's like, for you, it's like, you so legendary, and you can't mention street ball without mentioning Mousy. So I feel like you left a message already on the world. Like, you left your platform already in street ball. And I think a lot of coaches, they try to model after what you do. Like, they seen what you did back in the day at Rucker Park. Nowadays, you see a lot of people trying to have the studs on their team.
From day one, we never had a steady team. We always got players coming today, players coming tomorrow. I was never used to coaching a player like that. Now, the only player when I was coaching that came in like that was an NBA player. So he gonna change the game around. But now we're gonna add a player, another high school player. So we have no chemistry. So every team that won got chemistry, if you notice that. You know what I mean? They all got chemistry. They all got players that play together and players that want to play together. You know what I mean? We had the best teams, but we never had players that play chemistry. We always had a different player every game. You know what I mean? So my coaches bring the best player, but it's not no chemistry players.
What can we expect from Team Tri-State heading into next year, 2021, New York versus New York?
Start with my coach, that's what I'm trying to get. Once I lock him in, and I think me and him could win together. And he got the same passion that I have.
Is you letting your head coach build his team, or you going to contribute for the New York versus New York, help him build his roster?
Every coach I had, I let them build their own team. I let them, bring your players. You know what I mean? I had players that I brought to Rucker Park. The crowd could get to you, but if you don't have street ball in you, you really can't play. You really can't play in the park. You know what I mean? You have to have street ball. So when you building a New York team, you got to build it with street ball.
2021 Team Tri-State, Rucker Park Championship Day, NY versus NY, and Mousy get his coach. We locking it in.
Rucker Park was legendary. Tri-State was legendary. Just a legendary vibe today. So we want to give you your flowers while we can. I appreciate you stopping on, hanging out with me and Spicy. So we want to salute you, give you your flowers. And you already know the vibe. You're always going to be a legend in our books. Cha-ching!
We back with another Hot Drive Report.
With Caliente! The preview of the KD 13s and the Kyrie 3 lows, a.k.a. the New York versus New York edition.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. Yo, what's up, y'all? My boy Cha-ching, a.k.a. Cha-ching. Jada, a.k.a. Mr. Talk Spicy. What's going on, y'all? This week we here with the New York versus New York colorway of the KD 13. These is hard, I'm not gonna lie. So this shoe is inspired by all the other parks from New York versus New York. It's patch. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see that. You gotta get it. The New York versus New York. But yeah, these go crazy. This colorway is hard. I mess with it. I like the pink, honestly. That's why I like this one better. Because, being from Harlem, you gotta throw that pink on every now and then. You know what that's about back when we was in high school and all that, growing up.
9 on the temperature check, because I'm just a big fan of KD, and all his sneakers is really comfortable. And it fit my Sabero.
That's a hot drop for real. That's like 90 degrees hot. No funny. I like those. Those is tough.
I'm gonna go 90. That's as high as I'm gonna go till I see a Kobe. I'm going 90. Yo, so we also got in the Hot Drop Report, we got the Kyrie Low 3 New York versus New York colorway. These are crazy. I wish it had the pink that the KDs have, but nonetheless they're still fire.
I'm feeling the patches. I think the patches would be a big thing for the New York versus New York brand of sneakers when they launch a lot of them, because you could just tear wherever park you feel comfortable at, or remember you might be in a different borough and want to just support that borough for the day. So I'm kind of feeling the removal of the tongue of the patches. I'll give it about an 80-85 on temperature check.
I like that. I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna have to go 85, 80-ish. I definitely mess with them. I know kids are gonna love them because the colorways are crazy, and kids love the Kyrie line because his style of play. And you know that this Kyrie has the traction all the way around the bottom. You know how Kyrie like to play, turn and all that. So I think these is hard. So yeah, don't forget we got the KD 13s and the Kyrie 3 Low New York versus New York colorways. They are coming on September 10th at House of Hoops. Don't forget to check on your apps, check on social media, make sure you get those. Caliente with the Hot Drop Report. Peace.
Once again, thanks for joining us on episode 5, Built by the Game. I'm Jada, aka Mr. Talk Spicy. You know I got my dog skin splash on me. Cha-ching! And we're built by
Legendary.
Tune in next week for another episode. We out.